So hi folks, here I am with a true legend, Jimmy Stockins, legend of the cobbles, bare-knuckle boxer. How are you?
Fine.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's very nice to have you here now. I remember meeting you way back in the day at the Joe Powell evenings down in Streatham at Caesars, and you were refereeing, weren't you?
I were, yeah. I refereed a couple of fights that night.
Did you enjoy the refereeing?
Yeah, better than getting in there having a fight.
What did you think of those kind of nights down there? Because they had like a lot of the true crime people, lively crowds, weren't they?
Yeah, there was all sorts down there. Jimmy White was down there one night. I played him a game of snooker.
That's right. I think I was there. Did he do an exhibition?
Yes.
With Ronnie O'Sullivan?
Yeah.
That was it. And then Joe Powell was sitting there. Weren't the Richardsons there that night?
They were, yeah. The Richardson. I think every gangster in London was there that night.
Yeah. Did you get on well with all those chaps?
Yeah, got on very well. I knew Eddie Richardson.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew Joe and knew Freddie Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew a few of the boys, yeah.
What was Joe Powell like?
Lovely man.
Yeah.
He was a legend in his own time. I mean, the man knew it. He was well respected in the world, not only in this country. He was well respected in America and in Sicily. I mean, he was known as the quiet gangster. The man was a legend, you know.
Did you go to the funeral? Because the funeral was like
I
huge
did.
event.
Yeah, I went to the funeral. Yeah.
I mean, they closed off South London, didn't they?
Yeah,
Everybody was there.
The paper said the next day that there was over 2,000 people there.
Yeah, I remember going there. It was amazing. And what was Roy Shaw like? Did you get to know him at all?
No, not really. I met him a few times, but he wasn't the sort of man that you could talk to because he wasn't very talkative.
But I mean, you've had so many fights over the years. I mean, is it something like 200 fights you've had?
Well, probably more. I mean, I had 200 amateur fights.
Right. So that doesn't include the bare-knuckle?
That doesn't include the bare-knuckle, right. I mean, who knows? I don't know how many bare-knuckle fights I had. I'd be lying if I told you how many, because I've had loads, just loads.
So, like, with the bare-knuckle, are you fighting once a week, or how is it?
Well, it can be once a day, twice a day sometimes.
I mean, for an ordinary punter like myself, I mean, what is it like to go in and do a bare-knuckle fight? Because, I mean, you've done this from, like, childhood, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it just is what it is. Yeah. You know you're going to get hit, and obviously you're going to hit him, and hopefully you're hoping to get it over as quick as you can.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, bare-knuckle fighting.
Do you have to, as a gypsy, do you have to fight?
No, you don't have to fight, no.
No.
But it was bred into my family. All my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather and uncles, they all all fighters. Some on the booth, some turned professional. My brother was a pro, my cousins are pros. Most of my family were pro boxers.
Did you have like a fight as a kid? Were you like fighting?
Well, yeah, on the Beckton Road.
Yeah.
I felt there was a lot of Irish travellers there, English travellers, Welsh travellers, Scots travellers. A fella called Mooker Mitchell, and you boys would fight one each other just to see who was the best.
And do like the parents and the families encourage you, or do they try and stop it?
No, they don't stop it. They just let you go on.
Oh, really? So was there a point before you started fighting that you thought, actually, I'd like to do something else? Or did you have to go into it?
No, that's all I wanted to be.
Really?
I always wanted to be a fighter.
Was there ever a fight that you had that you were scared and you thought,
no.
No? Never had any of that?
No.
No.
You wouldn't be doing it if you were scared.
No, absolutely. So, you were brought up, and your dad was like a fairground fighter?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
On the booth, yeah.
What was he like as a fighter?
I think he was half decent.
Yeah.
I think he was half decent, yeah. He was on the booth for a few years, and you had to be decent to be on the booth.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, he was all right.
And what kind of a fighter were you? Were you like a sort of an aggressive fighter, or were you
Yeah,
stand up?
yeah. Mostly go forward. I like to go forward, like to have a fight.
So one of your toughest fights that I've been told was up against Tom. Is it Tom Creamy Eastwood?
Yeah.
Tell us about that fight.
Well, it was he's a top fighter himself, and we started off, and he hit me. I went over and got up, and we got back into it. And, it was like punch for punch for a while, and my eyes were up there, and nose was busted, and my eyes were busted, and I kept going and kept hitting him with shots up the ribs, and I'll give it one cut of real everything into it, and he didn't want no more. He jacked it.
So how long does a fight like that last?
3/4 of an hour.
And is there any sort of points that you stop, or you just push
No.
back in?
You only stop if you give best.
Right.
But Crey was one of the best men I've ever. He was the best man I've ever felt.
And do you have that like respect afterwards?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
two of you?
respect him. Yeah.
Is he still with us?
Yes,
Yeah. And have you ever seen him since?
loads of times.
Yeah. And do you talk about your fights when you're together?
No, we might have a joke about it. We don't really stand and talk about it. No, but we do have a joke about it now and then.
What
We
would you
might
say?
frame up to one another having a laugh.
Right. What would you say your favourite fights are that may not have been so sort of famous, as it were?
Well, Johnny Love was a good scrap.
Right. Tell us about that.
Same sort of thing, really. Had a fight in the pub, had a few hits in the pub one night, and said, we're going to settle it now, settle it up in the morning. He come over in the morning with his uncles. I didn't have any of my family there, but there was a few people there that was on my side, on my side anyway, and they see fair play, and my brother Wally come over, and yeah, we had a fight. As I say, I went over to split my head open, and kept at it, kept going, and my eyes just started swelling up, and I couldn't really see him again. I couldn't see him anymore, so I just had to stop. I didn't exactly give best, but I just said, I can't fight no more because I can't see you. That was it.
And was that the first fight that you would say that you lost? Or is it a lose? I mean, because you couldn't see, could you?
Yeah, well, listen, that's what he said. He said, we'll call it a draw.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because I haven't beat you. He said, we'll call it a draw. I said, well, fair enough. And that was it. It was left out like that as a draw.
Oh, great. So how many injuries? You must be riddled with injuries over the years, so surely.
I suppose I am.
Because you're looking in great shape for...
What you see in my face
Yeah.
is not what you see in my body. I mean, I had a few ribs cracked, and, you know, I mean, but, you know, I had a fractured skull. I mean, I've had loads of cuts on the eyes and the ears.
What would you say your worst injury was?
My worst injury was my nose, I think.
Really?
It sticks out, doesn't it?
You had a sort of a difficult time in your life where I think you ended up in prison, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't ask you what it was for.
Yeah.
But how was life in prison?
Well, life in prison is you got to fight to survive in prison. I mean, if you don't stick up for yourself, you get shit on. They take your dinner money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in there you get like a couple of £3 a week in them days.
Right.
And they'd be waiting for your money for your canteen.
Right.
And they'd have every fucking thing you got. You'd end up with nothing. So you got to stick up for yourself. You got to fight in there, the same as you got to fight out here, you know.
How long were you there for?
Oh, I've done a couple of stretches. I've done a year on the island, Camp Hill.
Yeah.
It's got Albany and Parkhurst down the bottom. I was at the top of Camp Hill, and done about a year altogether.
Right.
And then I done a bit more birds at Scrubs and Pentonville and Coldenley. Yeah, I've done a few bits.
Done a bit of a tour.
Done a little bit of a tour, yeah, I've been around.
So what would you say was the worst prison?
The worst prison? Oh yeah, I've done Brixton as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in there, but I think Wandsworth's
Yeah.
one of the worstest ones.
Yeah.
But touch wood, I've never been there.
Did you have fights while you were in prison?
Yeah, I had a fight in Camp Mill. The geezer was just a bully, and he tried to bully me. So he come unstuck. I done him into bed one night. One morning, I was open up to see how they go down, so I just went straight in there and give it to him. And another time, the big boy, Jim Orderly, he thought he was a so I'm in the landing, popping up one morning. He come round and told me to fucking move the mop. So I chucked the mop down. I said, "I don't want to fight, let's have a fight." Anyway, we got hit him a few times. He went down, grabbed me, pulled me down with him. And he's got his hand around my neck, I was fucking choking me. So I pulled, I grabbed his and I fucking pulled and he screamed, he'd then go and run off and do sound, banged his door up. When I come back that night, he said, "Can I have a word with you?" He said, "I've got too much to lose." He said, "And you've got too much to lose. Can we forget about it?" I said, "Don't worry, it never happened." He was
So you've never seen him since?
no, well, no, I have seen him since, yeah.
Yeah. Probably the wrong man to pick on, I imagine.
He definitely picked on the wrong man, but he was trying to pick bones
Yeah.
for a few days,
Yeah.
and he come unstuck.
Absolutely. So, how long is it the last time that you were in prison? You've been many years.
Oh, 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So, would you look, when you look back on it, do you have a regret about going? I mean, or
Well,
was it-
yeah, well, listen, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Obviously, I wish I'd never done it, but well, that's life. You just
Yeah.
get on with life and do it, don't you?
I was going to ask you about Appleby Fair, because for people who are not part of the community and all that,
Yeah.
what goes on there? Is that a place that people go to have a fight? Or is it mainly about horses or...
No, it's mainly about horses. You do get the odd fight,
Mhm.
but it is mainly about horses and dealing, and,
Mhm.
having a drink
Yeah.
and running the horses up and down. And I'm not really an horse man. I mean, I just went for the crack.
Right.
Yeah, as I say, it's not really a fighting fair.
No.
I mean, but two men, if they meet, they're going to get at it if they're enemies, you know what I mean?
So how do the fights sort of get arranged? Or are most of the fights like just something that's happened and then you have a fight?
Yes.
Or do you actually arrange fights?
Well, some are arranged fights, yeah, and some just happen on the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So it can be one or the other.
Yeah. Headbutting, are you allowed to headbutt in the sort of
Well, no,
arranged
not
fights?
really. If you're having
No.
a straightener, you don't headbutt, no.
So there's certain rules to the fight?
Yeah, well, if you're two men having a fight, you're fair play, and he's got a fair play man,
Mhm.
and they say no, straightener is a straightener. You use your hands,
Mhm.
and that's it. That's what a straightener's all about.
So did you ever have your hands taped?
No.
Or you were always
No,
bare?
no, just bare knuckle.
Was there a reason for that? You wanted to do it like that?
No, I didn't want to put anything like that on anyway. If I'm fighting a man, I want to fight him with bare knuckles. That's it.
So one of the reasons that you wanted to do this interview, there was another guy who did an interview with Dodge Woodall called Henry Francis. He said that he'd had a fight with you, isn't that?
Yeah, you call having a fight. I was a drunken. I've been drinking all that day, from 12 o'clock in the day till 12 at night. This happened about 12 o'clock at night, and was spinning the coins. And all I know, I'm spinning the coins. I put some money down, and the next thing I know, bang, 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 he's into me, and he couldn't even put me down as drunk as I was.
Mhm.
So my mate who was there, he come running there and he got in between us. He said, I was fighting in the morning. So, fight in the morning, all right, yeah, I was fighting in the morning. So I goes home, it was just up the road and my trailer, puts my head down, expecting to get up the next morning and have a fight. When I get up the next morning at 7 o'clock, he's not there, he's gone, he's moved off. He's gone running. And that was Henry Francis. I didn't even know him. I was that drunk, I wouldn't know him if he stood here now in front of me, I wouldn't know him.
I mean, I think one of the criticisms that he made in that interview was that you had slapped originally I think you said 14-year-old, and then I think it was 12 or something. Did that incident take place?
He'd be 5-year-old in a minute.
So
It's the thing, there was no child there. The man is a compulsive fucking liar.
yeah, I mean, it would be really out of character for you to do something like that, wouldn't it?
Well, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't do that. It would be totally out of the world, I wouldn't do that.
Why do you think he's said that?
Because he's off his head. He's talking out the back of his arse.
Yeah.
Listen, I went to Doncaster to fight him. His father was there, his brother was there. So I'm here to fight him. Where's he at? I even went on the site up the road where he lived and he wouldn't come out. And there was 200, 300, 400 travellers there. They all see what happened. He cocked his arse in the edge and run. He didn't come.
So you can categorically say that there was no 14-year-old there?
No.
Absolutely. How do you feel when somebody is sort of going against your reputation, because it is your reputation?
Well, listen, if they're telling the truth, that ain't a problem. Well, that man's lying out the back of his arse.
He was talking about a fight he'd had with Bartley Gorman. Did you feel that what was being said was the truth?
No. Well, he says he's 16-year-old when he saw him fighting, and the next thing, he's going to fight him and he don't even know him. He said he can't read or write, and the next minute he said he's read his book.
So why do you think that Henry Francis said these things about you? What's his motivation?
Well, I wouldn't have a clue. He's just a dinner, I think, off his fucking head.
When you had that fight with Henry Francis, you were completely drunk. And this, that, and the other. What do you think would have happened had you fought?
Well, it wasn't a fight. He just took a liberty with a man who couldn't even stand up. That's what he done. But listen, he wouldn't even lace my boots up, let alone anything else in my prime. He wouldn't. He was completely out of my league. I was in the Premier League, and he was in fucking Division fucking 3. Tell him to come to London. Tell him to come to London whenever he wants. Tell him I've been to fucking Doncaster twice. I've been in his own backyard. He ain't come there. That misfit. If he wants to fight, tell him to come to me. I'll soon accommodate him.
Nowadays, do you admire the fighters like Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
What's your viewpoint on him?
Tyson Fury, ain't a lot, you can't say nothing bad about him, that man. The man's done everything he's asked of him. He's been heavyweight champion of the world for 10, 12 years. I mean, he only gave up the title, relinquished the title because of his nerves, ill health, and that's why he gave it up, and then went back after a year or two and won the title back again. I mean, I think the man, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
And what do you think about his dad and John?
Well, I don't really know the man, and as I say, I don't really know Tyson Fury, but Dad's all right. I ain't going to say nothing bad about him. Dad's a dad, isn't he? All our dads, you know, I mean, want the best for us. And
Do you think John Fury, he's had lots of challenges from people like Mickey Theo and Joe Egan. Do you think he should actually have a fight with those people?
Well, I suppose if he wants to fight, he'll fight. If they want to fight him, they'll fight. I mean, I can't really say about that.
Well, would you be tempted back in the ring, Jimmy?
Well, if I had to, yeah.
What do you think about all of these YouTube fighters now that get in the ring, like who are fighting? Say the guy's fighting Tyson, Mike Tyson.
Oh well, listen, they're getting there. You got to take your hat off to them. You know, they're getting in there, aren't they? Still takes guts to get in there. You're fighting Mike Tyson or whoever you're fighting. You know, you still got to get in there and do the job. So yeah, take your hat off to them.
So have you got a prediction then for that fight between Tyson and Jake Paul?
I think Tyson,
he
shouldn't be doing it. No, Tyson. I don't think Tyson's quite 60. He'd be a bit below that. He'd be about 56, I think. Tyson.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, he was going downhill when he was in his early 30s. He was getting beat by journeymen then.
Yeah.
So obviously he ain't getting any better, is he?
No. Do you think he'll still have enough to beat Jake Paul?
I think he will. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For people who want to read more about you and learn more about you, you had a book out, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Tell us about that. It was with Martin Knight, wasn't it?
Martin Knight, yeah, he wrote it. Martin Knight, Martin King, and I mean, it's a totally true story, and what happened.
So people can still get this on Amazon.
Yeah, you still get it. Yeah.
And this is On the Cobbles,
On
folks,
the Cobbles.
If you want to look
By
at
Martin King and Martin Knight.
Yeah, fantastic. So to round this off, have you got sort of advice for people who may want to take up bare-knuckle boxing? Is it something that you should do? Or?
Well, no. Listen, if you're the type of person, if you've been brought up hard, you're brought up a trap like Gypsy, do it. If you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's as simple as that. I'd advise you first to have a few amateur fights, you know, so you know what it's like to get punched.
What is it like that first moment in that first fight when you get punched? I mean, how do you react to that? Do you ever get used to it?
You can't really explain it, but you get used to it, yeah. Yeah, you get used to it. It's like riding a bike, you get used to it in the end.
And do you have any regrets in your life when you look back?
No.
No, would you do it all again?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
What would you say was your fittest and sort of greatest moment when you thought, I am really on top of this and I'm the king of the cobbles?
I'll say fit as I ever was when I felt creamy, I think. You know, having a cobbles fight. Yeah. I had to be fit for that. I went up to Thomas and Beckett and I had bit of money and I give it to a trainer, £80. Well, £80 back in the 80s was a lot of money. I give it to him and I trained me, I said, for a month. And he said, yeah, and he did train me properly for a month and I was sparring with all the pros and, you know, yeah. So that's what you need to do.
Absolutely. And finally, have you got a little message to Henry Francis in case he watches this?
Yeah, grow up, you